Hi, everybody. I'm Kim. Welcome to the Regretful Yarn Addict. So, I don't have a lot to show. I've only got like 3, 4, 5 things, maybe 6. Yeah, it's pretty much, I'm just looking at what I've got, and 3 are the same thing, and 2 are the same thing, and 1 is a whip. But before I go into that, I told y'all that I would let you know what's been going on and why I was MIA last week. So, I'm going to bore you all with some details and then we'll get to the good stuff. So, let's go back to this is May. It was the last week of April, that Tuesday, whatever date that was. I was at work and I got a message on Facebook Messenger from my brother's landlord. Now, I have one brother and one sister. My brother's older than I am, my sister is younger. My brother lives up in Michigan. My sister lives about, I don't know, 7 miles from me. So I read this message, and it was kind of long. Basically, it said, your brother is in the hospital. He's been in and out of rehab and the hospital is looking for his next of kin. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see or hear somebody looking for next of kin, all I think is he's either dead or he's going to be dead, like soon. So I went into a panic. And, I wound up calling the hospital and I got to run around there. And I finally got to talk to someone and I was like, I'm Kim. And someone said they're looking for my brother's next of kin, and that's me. And she said, wow, I don't see any notes here that say that. And I was like, okay. And she said, I know your brother's here. He's had complications from open heart surgery. And I said, what? Excuse me? Open what? So she was like, oh, yeah, he had open heart surgery. And then she was like, I can't really tell you too much more without his permission. So, and I explained how he rarely ever calls and, he doesn't always answer when we call because usually he's sleeping. And anyway, so later that afternoon, I think it was that afternoon, he called me. And his voice was really weak and he didn't sound good at all. And I asked him what happened, and he'd said, he had a heart attack in March. And that, he went to the hospital. I think he said he came home and then he went back. And then he had open heart surgery in March. And that, he's, in the hospital. So I was like, all right, we're going to come up tomorrow. I don't know if we'll see you tomorrow or Thursday. So I called my aunt, made sure we had a place to stay. And then Wednesday, me, Brian, and my sister drove up to Michigan. And we went to see him Thursday morning. And he did not look good. He did not sound good. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. But I did find out he'd been in the hospital since April 6th. And like I said, this was the last week of April, the last full week. So it was that Thursday, which was like the 26th, 24th, something like that. So he'd been in for a while. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Which is why I didn't know until his landlord, messaged me. And and the nurse that was on duty seemed like a nice person, you know, but she was all happy, happy, joy, joy, and mostly she just wanted to talk about herself. And it's like, we just drove 650 miles, whatever. I'd like to know what's going on with my brother, not what's going on in your life. I didn't say that, but she couldn't really say too much. And then we went back up Thursday afternoon, didn't get any more information. And, we'd left a message both times for his doctor to call so I could find out exactly what was going on, because they only knew what had been going on since he'd been there got in on the 6th. They didn't have any information about, his open heart or what happened there. So Friday morning we went up and we talked to another nurse. And he walked in and he was like, "Do you recognize me?" And I'm like, "No." And he said, he was my brother's nurse when he was in ICU. And I said, "Oh, yeah, we weren't here." I said, "None of us knew about that." So he told us what had happened. And, and that he was going to tell the doctor to call. So, no call. We went up again Friday afternoon. And we saw him again. And, no more news or anything. But that night, about 2 hours after we got back to my aunt's, his doctor called and told me, oh yeah, he had, I forgot. They were giving him a liter of blood, and it was a liter, I don't know, a unit, a bag, and it was the 7th one he'd gotten, because they didn't know what was going on, but he was losing blood, and they had no idea why. And so I was like, oh, yay, this is getting even worse. And then the doctor finally called me, and she said that he'd had congestive heart failure, renal failure, uh, the heart attack, the open heart surgery, and all this other stuff. And he was weak, and and he had to have the blood, or he wouldn't survive. So it was like, oh shit. So we had to come home Saturday because, we both had to be back to work. And today's actually Monday when I'm recording this. So I think it was Friday. He called me. My brother called me. And I called like that Tuesday or something to find out, if there was any update. And now there was nothing else they could tell me. So anyway, he called me Thursday or Friday to let me know that he was in a rehab in another town. And I was like, where? And he says, because he told me the name of it, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. And his voice was a lot stronger. And I was like, where are you? And he says, oh, the people around here know where it is. I said, the people around where? And he said, Black County, the counties. And I said, yeah, but I'm not there. I can't ask anybody. So where are you? So he started calling out for a nurse or somebody. He's like, can somebody come and assist me? I need assistance. Can someone come in here? And he was yelling, and I was like, well, shit, he's better. So yeah, he's getting better. He's in a rehab because he was so weak. He hadn't been walking for like 2 or 3 weeks. And so yeah, they're gonna get him walking again and get his strength back up. So he should be okay. But while we were gone, Brian's daughter had had surgery a couple years ago, and then last year she got an infection at the um, wherever the part where she'd had surgery, and she'd gone to urgent care and gotten some antibiotics, and they weren't working, so they prescribed a stronger antibiotic, and that didn't work either. So she called them back and she explained what was going on. And this was Monday, last Monday, a week ago. And this is why there was no video because I usually record on Mondays. And we left here. I took her up to the emergency room because that's where they told her to go. They said, you need to go to the hospital. So we got up to the hospital about 5:30 in the afternoon. I got home again at little after 7 Tuesday morning. It was like, are you serious? It was 12 hours. 12 hours before she got taken to the back, to be examined. We were in the waiting room for 12 hours. Now, there were several ambulances that had come in while we were there, but, ugh, and the chairs are so uncomfortable. And it's been so long since I was at the emergency room there that I had no idea how much things had changed. You have to go through security, the metal detector, they search your purse, the whole thing. I couldn't even take my crochet in with me. No. They were like, no, you can't bring any hooks or anything in here. I was like, really? Because, yeah, no, you can't bring it. So I was like, all right. So I took that back out to the car and sat in the emergency room for 12 hours. And for a little bit, it was interesting because there was this other woman there who had her daughter. And man, she just took control. She was making it a party and she was just having a good old time. Just chit chatting with everybody. And it was like, you go. I'd rather just sit here, but okay, at least you're entertaining. But yeah, so I came home Tuesday morning and I slept till like 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon. And while I was sleeping, Brian's daughter had had surgery. They removed a bunch of dead skin. And she was in the hospital until Thursday afternoon or Friday. One of them. I can't remember if she came home Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. And she's doing quite well now too. So that is why I had no video last week because I had nothing to show that I made except some scrunchies and because that's what I worked on when I was up in Michigan. But all right, so now that part is out of the way and y'all are caught up on what's been going on in my life. Blah blah. Ooh, it could have been a sad story, but it's not. So if you can remember back 2 weeks ago, I said my son had asked me to make something. So I made it. I am not going to put a link down below for this pattern because, quite honestly, it sucks. I was able to decipher it and fix some of the obvious mistakes that were made. It's like she didn't have anybody test it or anything. It was like, well, this is what I'm going to do, and blah, just put it up. And I paid $7 for this thing, and no pictures. It's like, I expect pictures when I pay that much, and I expect the pattern to have been tested and all the glitches fixed. But whatever. So this is called an I Don't Care Stash Bear. And there are a million pieces to sew, just sew onto it. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 or 17. I can't remember if I counted that or not. Are you ready? Okay. It's a quart mason jar, and I glued this on because it doesn't have to seal. Okay, so here's the things that I didn't like about this. For starters, this, because you put the jar in and then you put stuffing in and then you have to finish the last couple rows while the jar is in it. Not easy. But it was like there weren't enough rows, so I had to fix that. These, especially the bottom legs, I think are just too skinny. They look like weird poppet mushrooms that have been popped out. And I don't like them. So I made another one. I'll show you that in a minute. So I changed the legs out. I changed the rows on here before I decreased and whatnot. And then something fell. I didn't like the head. It was too tall. And the nose is too weird. So, Oh, and she doesn't have the little smile on it. It was just like this. But she had an embroidered nose, and then she has it going down and a little smile on the snout. But I didn't like that. So this was the one I made just, to see if it was feasible for me to make it. And because I was gone and I'd started it and I had to come home and finish it, I don't know how long that one took. This one keeps losing his head. So, and she says you're supposed to glue the head to the top of the jar. But my opinion is if you do that when you're screwing it back on, you could wind up having the head facing sideways or backwards because jar lids don't always go on the same exact way. All right, so he said that one of them he wanted for a friend of his, and she would like a purple lion. Now I think I need to do some fixing up on this yet because you'll see. And she didn't want the pot leaf. So I made this. See, I made the legs thicker on it. The top ones I left the same, but this, And then I changed this part so that it came up nice without the stitches going all over the place. Yeah. See, I think the mane needs to come down more. Right now it just looks like a funny bear with weird hair. I made the snout bigger. I changed the inner ear because I didn't like the way that one looked. And this one I gave a lion tail. But, I definitely think I need to come down. And I don't know what I did wrong on this one because I think it might just be the way I sewed it in. You put this little thing on the inside and it fits over the lid. And then this is supposed to fold down around the lid. But I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I just don't know. But anyway, I still have to make one more. And he's like, oh, as soon as the people at work see those, you're going to get orders for more of them. I was like, whatever. The butterfly applique that I put on that one, I can't remember where I got it from. So I can't really share that. Or this other one that turned out upside down. This is a 3D, but it should be like this, not like this. And then I had a craft show Sunday. The one Saturday was canceled. And I was like, all right, so I just wanted something to do because I always take crochet stuff with me because you always have some downtime. At least I always do. But I'd made this, excuse me, wristlet, keychain, whatever. I'd made it Saturday night. And she calls it the daisy, but it's just a star stitch. I don't know, but she says, oh, and there you have your daisy stitch. I'm like, that's a star stitch. But I had just put this part on because that's what she did. She didn't have this. And then I was looking at other ones, and it's like, oh, they all have a bigger one, a bigger lobster claw, and they don't have this, and I like that better. So I ordered some, and they're not in yet, but, Oh. But I'll show you something else I ordered and came in. So this one I made Saturday, and then these two I made while I was sitting at the craft show. See that one? You can really see the star stitch. This one you can a little bit. And I forgot to put another row on that one, but I don't think anybody's going to look at it and be like, you forgot. I don't want that one. Mm-hmm. All right, so I got those. And, I had to make an order on Amazon because I ran out of the little tags with the strings that I put them on all my stuff because when I'm doing craft shows, I've done the whole thing with the little chalkboard that looks all nice and cute. And I'll have it right in there. And I will say, whatever, it's this much. And people will still be like, how much is this? It's like it's right there in front of you. So I put tags on absolutely everything except my dishcloths. People seem to be able to understand what that means when I say they're this much or 3 for this much. So anyway, so I had to order some more of those. I guess they're called marketing tags. And look, I wisened up and I ordered 1,000 of them instead of 100 or 50 or whatever it came. I think it was 100. Yeah, so I should be okay for a minute. And then I was just looking around and I was like, let me see if they have any cool, crazy eyes or anything. And I didn't know you could get these. Come like this. You guys. They're googly eyes. But they're safety googly eyes. Look at that. They have stems and washers. And they're googly eyes. Flipping awesome. And they come in this neat little package. Okay, so I told you what's going on, what's been going on. I showed you my bears and my wristlets. And I should be working on another bear. But man, it kills my hands to work on those. It's just, my hands just get so sore because you have to use a 3.5 millimeter hook. Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if I told you, but I shortened the head. I didn't do as many rounds as I did in the yellow one because it was too big. And you can't see because of the fur, but this one, the cheeks come out more like they do on a Care Bear. Not that it matters. It's not a Care Bear. It's an I don't care. I don't care. So anyway, I have a friend at work who is retiring, and I asked her what her favorite colors were, and I was going to make her a hexacardy, but I think she'll appreciate this better. And she said her favorite colors were lime green and pink. So I am using Unforgettable in the color Sugarcane. It has, the limey green in it and pinks. And I only had two, so I don't really have enough to do a hexie. And I think she would appreciate this a lot more. And it gives me a chance to use a yarn I have not used in a very long time. Used to be like one of my favorite yarns, but I haven't used it in a long time because I've been doing so much amigurumi. And I decided if I'm going to do something with a different yarn, I'm going to do Tunisian because I haven't done Tunisian in forever. So I've started this. Another lamia wrap from TLC Yarn Crafts. And I've got a couple mistakes in it, but it's all right. Karen won't mind. Because I just won't point them out to her, and she'll just think it's some little glitch or something. And it's fine. And I hope she doesn't watch this so she doesn't see it. But anyway, it's nice doing Tunisian again. Just a nice change. And I remembered I really liked making this shawl before. If you remember, I made it out of the black yarn. I think it was like Metallico. And I gave it away in my first collaboration swap video. So this is what it's going to look like when it's in a color. And I don't know if you can really see the difference. Yeah, you can. The honeycomb and then just the simple. But that's what I'm working on. It should be all done by next week. when I do my next video. And this has been like a half hour. We're almost done. So I hope y'all had grabbed a drink at the beginning or paused it and went out to get something or whatever it is, you like to drink. So let's grab our advice for the week. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. It's been, it's been. All right. We're going to grab that one. The first one says, work through your feelings. And the other one is, go wild. Can you see them? I can't see. Work through your feelings. Go wild. That's interesting. Go wild. All right. So I hope y'all have a great day, great morning, great evening, whatever, whenever, wherever you're watching. Thank you for watching. If you have not already, please do subscribe. I promise I do not always go into detail about my life because ain't nobody got time for that. And who cares? Yeah. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, that whole spiel stuff, because I really do appreciate you guys. I really do. And you're fantastic. So thank you. Later, Gators. Peace out.